guys, welcome to another episode of the Both Sides Podcast. I am your host, Young Cheems, Young God, High Chief, Big Cheems, Big Daddy. I'm here with my co-host, Regular Schmegular, Gloria. Hey, Gloria.
AKA Gigi, but I'm not going to go into all my multiple names like Chima just did and fucked it up. So
I gotta let people know my aliases, bro. My aliases. Let people know who I am, who I'm is, all the names that I have, the young God that I am. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week. Hopefully you had a very good 4th of July and turn up weekend and, fun stuff. Now you're back to your regular work week and hopefully you like it. But you probably don't. But, we're going to get you through the day and through your time, okay?
I'm not gonna lie, like 4th of July being on a Wednesday was the absolute worst. It was kind of like...
I can imagine for y'all.
Oh, okay, show off, thanks. It was just horrible. It's like, okay, like you're trying to turn up, but then it's like, or maybe not, even if you're doing something chill like a barbecue, but like you with a fan, maybe I get lit with the liquor or whatever and stuff. It's like, damn, like you can't turn up that much because you have work the next day. And it's like you could take off, but if you take off the Thursday, might as well take off the Friday because who really wants to
Friday as well?
Friday?
Exactly.
But then it's like, damn, you're gonna waste 2 days PTO on 4th of July. It was a lot.
I think it was pointless. I think companies should start. They should employ this new method where if 4th of July lands on a Wednesday, you should get Thursday and Friday off because the productivity is gonna be low. Who wants to come into work after turning up on Tuesday night after work, turn up on Wednesday? You think you're gonna go into work on Thursday and still want to, be as productive as possible? I'm pretty sure Thursday most people were just, I'm here so I don't get fined type attitude. Friday, because you're hoping that the weekend is right there. You're not even doing as much work either. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, people should have off if 4th of July lands on a Wednesday. Now, if it lands on a Tuesday, I think you should get Monday off. So you should get, exactly. So you should get Sunday. You should get that Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, and then Tuesday because there's no point, and just start your work week on Wednesday. That's how I think it should be. But nobody listens to Chima. What is what it is.
To us, right? But
but I have fun though.
In terms of productivity, it's like most people take off anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's
exactly.
Like, what is the point?
But unlike you all, this week surprisingly enough was my short week, so I was off on Wednesday anyway. And for most of you, I have usually 3 days off every week, so I was off this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm back to work on Sunday. So I have fun, and I still get to use my 4th of July holiday on another day, in the future. So, listen, excelente. We thank the Lord.
Okay, show off. Did you do anything
you guys,
for July 4th?
On Tuesday night, I wanted to go to Yumi and R&B, but I couldn't go because I had to work. So everybody was having their fun. I was at work. Wednesday, I went to a barbecue. We had a little barbecue and it was fun. Turned up a little bit, saw friends, was chill. If you guys were on my Snapchat or Instagram, you saw little arguments we had, St. Lucia versus Jamaica and how people were talking about Nigerian men are trash and how Nigerian men have like little dicks and whatnot and blah, 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 this and that. It was very interesting Wednesday night. Yeah. It was very funny. And the person, funny enough, who said it, her mom is married to a Nigerian and she messes with Nigerians. So, no shade though, baby girl, do you?
I'm done.
But yeah, 4th of July was cool. What'd you do?
I think an array of stuff actually, but it all ended at a barbecue, and so which was very lit. The food was very good. It was as soon as I pulled up to the barbecue, they were like, "Gigi, you want any shots?" I was like, oh, this is the type of time we on. Mind you, I got to that barbecue later, like around 8 o'clock, and I was like, damn, I have work
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. But you know what? In the moment, I was like, sure. So it was like it was very tennis city and stuff like that. So it was a good time and stuff. So
That's good. That's good. As long as everybody has some good vibes, that's what
yeah.
matters. Hopefully everybody had fun and you didn't waste your 4th of July. But, back to work this week, guys. Just do what you gotta do to make it to the next weekend again. So, let's hop right into it. Let's see what is on today's agenda. Guys, I've been trying to avoid this topic for quite some time. I've been seeing it on Twitter. I've been seeing it all over the news. Excuse me. And it's just something that just keeps reoccurring. We saw the lady who was in the Bay Area who called the police on the guy who was barbecuing, I guess because he wasn't following regulations. You're not supposed to have some kind of charcoal or whatever on there. Then we saw I believe in New York, where the white lady called, the police on this black young lady who was selling lemonade. Like, that's not the American thing to do. Selling lemonade and whatnot. We saw her lose her job. We saw her, get quote unquote bullied on the internet and bullied because she decided to not mind her business. And, the moral of those stories are that, minding your business doesn't cost that much. But here she goes, not minding her business, and she loses her job, her salary, and all that. So, hey, But I say all this to say that there has been a new development and something I couldn't really ignore. Not necessarily ignore, but I just kept seeing it and I just had to watch it. So I was on Twitter scrolling, as I usually do. When you're bored, you just do the scrolls. And I came across this video, like not saying multiple times, like it was on my timeline all the time, and I purposely ignored it. One day I was like, okay, let me just click on it and see what's going on. So there was this lady. She's from South Carolina. Let me see if I can pull this up. Actually, I'm trying to get all the facts here. She's from South Carolina. South Carolina or North Carolina? Hold up. Let me see. Let me see. I just want to get it for you guys here. Oh, she's from North Carolina. She's from North Carolina. So she was in, obviously a hot summer day. And you guys have been around here, for those in the U.S., summertime, this heat has been bananas. Like, the sun I think the devil is really on vacation in the United States, and he brought the heat with him, because there's no other explanation for why it's so hot out here. Either way, it's a hot summer day. So this lady decided to take a swim in her pool. You're paying rent. Why not? So here comes Adam. I don't know his last name. They couldn't find his last name because they created hashtag ID Adam. He comes in asking for specifically her ID and nobody else. I don't understand. And I'm really trying to understand why, at least make an argument for why he would do so, right? Okay, maybe you're swimming in your pool. You don't want outsiders who are not paying rent to swim there, or, I don't know what it is. So there's really no explanation as to why he asked for her ID. Either way, she gave him the address for where she lives. She's saying, hey, that I live here and blah, 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 that, I don't understand why you're asking me for my ID when, you didn't ask anybody else in the area. She was like, oh, well, it's just like, I want to make sure that, you're staying here, that there aren't any outside, you're not an outsider coming in to swim in our pools, and blah, blah, blah. He then proceeds to call the police. The police come. Obviously, she was able to prove and show that she lived there. And what pissed me off the most is watching the video, and I couldn't even finish it because I was getting so heated, and it just, I don't know. Okay,
so,
let me compose myself.
Man, yes. Is he a community patrol officer? Is he the lifeguard?
He's just a resident.
Who is this man?
He's just a resident.
Oh, he's
just a white man. Just a resident.
Oh,
and I don't get, and what pisses me off the most is, like, I wouldn't say the ID part pisses me off and whatnot. Because first of all, I would have ignored him. These kind of people, there's no way that you're going to come and look at me and I would actually give you any time of day. Either way, what pisses me off that after she was able to prove to the police that, she was a resident there, even with the address and all. He was just so nonchalant about everything. Like, well, I was pretty much like, doing my due diligence or whatever. Like the way his body language just seemed like, I don't care, no apology for the inconvenience, nothing whatsoever. It's like, whatever. And when I tell you the way I wanted to jump into my phone screen and slap this man, Lord have mercy.
First of all, nigga, no one made you the fucking patrol officer. You are not. See, a lot of these things and what I fail to understand, mainly one, because when I say I truly mind the fuck out of my business, I really do. So it's really hard for me to really comprehend unless something not even devastating, something like really egregious is going on. I don't really understand how people don't know how to mind their business. So right now, I just don't understand how people are, on their phones and doing all types of things on things that don't really concern them. You get what I'm saying? It's like you decided to take time out of your day to call the police or confront this girl by a lemonade stand, to confront people about having permits to have a barbecue, to ask somebody if they have ID or not. Like, I can't even imagine walking up to somebody and saying, hey, I just want to make sure you have ID when it literally is not my job to do so. If I am a bystander, if I am, I guess a resident, whatever, I would never be like, oh, do you have ID? Like, that is not in my job description. Actually, it's not even in my job. So I just don't understand how people could really feel so entitled to be like, oh, I just wanted to make sure I was doing due diligence. On whose behalf? Like,
exactly. But the story doesn't only end there. This is my favorite part of the tea, the best part of the music, of the hook that, Ty Dolla $ign sang, the best part of the song. Word got out to his employer, I guess Sunoco or Sunco, whatever it's called, their distribution company. And, obviously, this is where being shallow as a company works on your behalf, where obviously I'm sure the company doesn't really care that this is going on, but just to save face, they fire this man. And they put out saying, we are aware of the terrible incident involving the actions of one of our employees of the workplace, and we have released this statement. So they released a statement and they fired homeboy. He is now out of a job for not minding his business. So, ladies and gentlemen, the moral of the story is minding your business costs you absolutely nothing. Not minding your business could cost you your salary, your health care benefits, and all that. Take that however you like, guys. Mind your business. But yeah, that's really about it on that case. But I'm sure that there are going to be more stories with white people calling cops, because I feel like they are treating police officers like customer service reps, and
they are.
They are just enjoying it.
That's wasting the taxpayers' dollars too. Not only that, obviously it speaks to how, when they say the little microaggressions in regards to like Black people, I just think that with everything that's going on and everything in terms of like what they say call out culture, or people, all this stuff being reported in the news, I don't understand how people still continuously do the things they do. Like, we saw what happened with the situation in Oakland or the Bay Area. I'm not exactly sure if it's Oakland, but whatever, with the barbecue and the
Bay Area, pretty much, yeah.
The permit. Then the young lady trying to sell the lemonade, which that story really aggravates me the most out of all of them.
Especially because the white people, it's not even that, like, selling lemonade, especially where the suburbs are raising money as a cute kid. It's just an American, it's not like, it's an American thing to do. It's like, hey, the lemonade stand, you pay your quarter, you pay your dollar, you get a nice glass of lemonade. You see it in movies, you see it around the world, you see it all over. It's just it's just as American as apple pie and baseball and racism, It's just that American. So why she felt the need to call the police on that 8-year-old child it's so beyond me, bro. I just don't get it. And it's not like the child was raising money to sell crack on your steps. I believe she was selling it she was using it for other education, something that would actually benefit her, as a person. So the way that, I don't know, man. I just think this, man, the whites are just different.
And that's why I don't understand, like, you see the results that's coming out with all these things, especially, like you said, they're treating police officers like they're customer service reps. I'm pretty sure the police officers don't want to be there anymore than you are over there calling them to do your
Bruh,
death
I'm sure these
statement.
niggas are
Didn't even
tired.
make sense, but whatever. Y'all gonna ride. They don't want to be there. And so basically they're like, you're calling me over a lemonade stand, over a barbecue, over a goddamn person in the pool. And honestly, I mean, this did happen to me once, a very, very many years ago, actually, and the same thing with the pool situation, because I did grow up in an area with a, bunch of white people,
Mm-hmm.
during my formative years. So, the pool, when I say, is literally down the street from my house, right? And I went with my friends and stuff like that. And somebody asked us if we had access to the pool. I was like, I live down the street. They were like, oh, but we need to see a card. I said no. And pretty much, one, because I actually didn't have the card on me. I left it at home. And two, I was like, oh, I live here. And honestly, that was the end of that situation. But I can imagine if it had gone further. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so ridiculous. And people count themselves every single day. So, a moral of the story is mind your business. If it really doesn't concern you, if you are not getting paid, it's not like you were even a lifeguard. I could understand if you were trying to do due diligence. You were a resident. What? And even
Here's
so.
the thing, okay, and when I say mind your business, so obviously I say that with discretion, right? Obviously, if you see a terrorist with the bomb being next door and is about to blow shit up, call the police, right? But something as simple as somebody swimming in a pool where it doesn't affect your money. It's not going to do anything. It doesn't affect your livelihood. I just don't understand why you need to go above and beyond to do it. I don't know, man. I think what needs to happen now is that police officers or the city needs to start slapping fines for things that should be regarded as, I guess, a call that shouldn't have been made. And that's what probably caused people to stop calling police as much because it's like, bruh.
No, they should implement that. If the call, if it's just something as minute as this, you get slapped with a $250 fine for the first offense. Second offense, $500.
Bruh.
Third offense, you going to jail. Like, son.
Exactly. Like, so I just don't get it. So now that, okay, even with the girl the person that called police on 8-year-old, now is police gonna lock the 8-year-old up and put her in the back of the cop car? Like, I don't know, man.
Give them a fine for not having a permit.
These white people are just, I don't know what it is. It's, I guess when you're able to grow up with the police on your side, you just have no regard for them, honestly, because I don't think they respect the police the way they do, because if you respected the police, you would honestly respect their time and not call them on bullshit ass calls. But, that's beyond me. I'm black. I can't relate to that. So,
right.
Moving right along to other things that are kind of white, because white people did invade South Africa and, apartheid and whatnot, but this has nothing to do with apartheid. I'm just trying to have a nice transition statement, but wow. Some lions killed some poachers in South Africa, guys. And you know why I'm bringing this as news to you? Because we see, and if you are on Twitter, you are on, in the world, you see white people coming to Africa to game. They're coming to shoot game. They shoot a nice, wonderful, majestic creature as a giraffe or a lion or an elephant, and they pose right next to a dead animal like that is normal. I don't understand how normal really that is, especially if you're not going to eat the animal. It's one thing if you're hunting for consumption. It's another if you're just hunting to kill, because that really just shows how much of a, I guess, sociopath or psychopath you are. But, in America, it's I'm a hunter and whatnot. But
and
okay, it is what it is.
Me about that though, like, especially with white people, because it's just, okay. So we know, especially, I mean, obviously all types of people love animals and all types of people hate animals, right? But for white people, we really know them for loving animals, right? They have all types of foundations, PETA, all this stuff, ASPCA, whatever, to protect animals and their rights and all these things. Okay, fine. But in the same breath, they be the ones talking about, I'm going to hunt them down. game, things like that. So I'm like, which one is it? Like, do y'all love the
To
animals
keep
or
one
not?
energy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very confusing. So you're just killing them to kill them, and you're
I,
saying
I,
that's a sport.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But the reason I brought this up to you guys, again, we normally see news of, white folks or hunters shooting animals and, taking their head back to go hang in their living room, which is also equally weird to me. Why you have a dead animal's head just chilling in your living room, just looking at you every day. But, either way, the white's going white. But the story comes from South Africa where, rhinos and lions and all that live, and majority, 80% of, I guess, the world's population of rhinos live in South Africa, and well, Africa in general. And rhino horns, for those of you who don't know, are quite lucrative, just like elephant tusks, the ivories and whatnot. They are used for the most part, in Chinese and Asian medicine. So they go for about $9,000 a pound. Now, obviously, if you're coming from Africa or even anywhere, $9,000 a pound for something is quite a lot of money. So this happened a few days ago, I believe last week or so. You had a few poachers who decided to come steal some rhinoceros horns. There's a dog that's usually around there to protect, from poachers. When they sense poachers or something, they sniff around, they bark and alert whoever is, the park rangers there to, kind of chase them off and whatnot. This was at nighttime. So while the dog was barking and the poachers were coming and whatnot, the park ranger came out to hear what was going on, because obviously if you're getting alerted by the dog, you should come check it out. But when he came out, he heard lions, and he thought, okay, maybe it was just the lions that tipped off the dog. It wasn't anything special. So he went back in his house like nothing happened. But lo and behold, the next day he came out and they saw some bones on the ground, and he saw something which looked to be like a soccer ball. And he looked a little closer and found out it was a human skull. Ladies and gentlemen, Simone, Nala, what's that, Simone? Simba, Nala, Scar, Kovu, all had dinner that night, and they killed 3 poachers.
Dead. It would definitely be Scar leading the pack.
Oh, they ate the 3 poachers, and when I tell you Twitter was rejoicing, this was so funny because, hey, at the end of the day, right, there's no reason why I should come in to hunt rhinoceros tusks. And the reason I'm reporting this to you, because I'm genuinely happy that this happened. I don't know how much it's going to deter people from coming, but it's a good day for Simba and the whole Pride on Pride Rock. But yeah, that's pretty much it though. Just wanted to let you guys know that happened.
Well, I think especially too, because one, I don't understand. Okay, the Chinese people, y'all making all types of fake stuff. Y'all selling us plastic rice. Apparently they selling plastic eggs. I don't know everything, because there's so many people in China. I guess they have found a way to finesse the system and start cutting down on costs. But not only that, they trying to sell us to our people. But that's another topic for another day. Okay. Right now, they have really learned how to cut down on costs. So what I'm saying is, if y'all know how to make everything fake, from the bags to the goddamn food, you trying to tell me you can't fake a little rhino, freaking, what do they call them? Horns?
Rhino horns, yeah.
And not only that, okay, not only that, but everything that's going on, and everybody got their customs and traditions and skills, and I'm not even trying to say much about that. I'm just saying that I think there's a lot of things that have upgraded from trying to use rhino horns for medicine. Okay. All I'm saying is that where everything else that y'all make fake, y'all might as well go ahead and start seeing how you guys can duplicate rhino horns, because you see how these people got killed trying to get caught up in the foo-foo, like I like to call it. I mean, it's a lucrative. Don't get me wrong. If I was in a certain type of space, maybe I'll be out there trying to poach some goddamn rhino horns. Okay, $9,000 a pound. Okay, and I'm pretty sure them horns is a little heavy, right? So it gets you a little get you a little dinero right there, make up some people's salaries in a goddamn horn. But at the same time, it's like, goddamn, these rhinos ain't do nothing to nobody. But all this stuff going on, I think the owner even stated just to protect the rhinos, it cost him about 73,000 a year because of all the dogs and like security and patrolmen he has to pay in order to keep the people of his goddamn rhinos. Is kind of crazy, okay? Like,
Yep.
that's all I said. It's very confusing to me. Like, is it Uchiwali or is it one mic? Because it's like, oh, I love these animals, but then I hate them. I'm gonna kill them for some goddamn rhino horns. Like, just leave Africa alone. We want you to leave us alone. We want you guys to depend on the resources y'all have over there. I know back,
that is not happening.
Back, we created trade, to really live off each other. But, I really want y'all to get out. I know it's not going to happen, but
that's not happening. But, God bless. We can all hope and dream. I think that's enough of the regular news. I want to get into more so entertainment. Guys, did you watch Power? And by the time this comes out, the second episode would have come out, but we haven't seen the second episode yet. So we're going to dwell on the first episode and talk about that. Did you see the first episode, Gloria?
Mm-hmm. And I just want to state for the record that if I want Tariq to die, and quite frankly, if I'm being honest, I want Ghost to kill Tariq. I don't care if that's his son. I don't give a fuck. Tariq or Tariq or however you say his name, Tariq. Go. Tariq, thank you. He has to die. I am tired of seeing this little piece of shit on my screen every week doing the dumb shit that he is doing. Like, okay, sorry. Did you watch Power? You just said you did. So anyway, let's
I did, yeah.
forward. Tariq.
Okay. No. I just want to say that he is I really hope that if I was to ever see him on the street, I would remember that he's just playing a role and it's not something that is necessarily real, because I feel like I'm gonna just like, if I see him and I get triggered and just smack him real quick and like, you fucking terrible son, then it might come back to me. But guys, I tweeted this the other day that I don't think I could watch Power regularly because it stirs up the inner killer in me, or this stirs up something in me that's very bad. There's no reason why I want to see so many people die on a certain show, right? I can list, everybody pisses me off on that. Every single person pisses me off.
Who do you want to see die?
Tariq Gotta Go first. Tariq Gotta Go. The Lorenz Tate, whatever his character name is, the mayor, he gotta go.
Damn, you want him dead though?
Oh yeah, he gotta die. Actually, no. Let me take this back. My first person on the list that has to die is the lawyer. That nigga gotta go. He needs to die. Somebody needs to shoot him. No, the lawyer. Oh yeah, definitely over Dre. Definitely over Dre. The lawyer dude is just, ever since he came into the prison to try to get Ghost out, and he just had this elitist, scent about him, like, oh, I went to law school and blah, blah, blah. And now you just, you beat my man's wife. Like, bruh, like, yo, where's the like, you're his lawyer. Where's the respect? Do you not have enough respect for Ghost's name in the streets that you're out here fucking his wife?
Nigga, yo, Ghost don't got enough respect.
And wait, listen. Ghost is a cornball too sometimes, but here, at the end of the day, it's like, you know what Ghost does for real. Like, businessman, and, in the front and straight kill in the back. And you have the audacity to go sleep with this man's wife and kiss this man's wife at the daughter's funeral. Nigga, where are your morals? Like, bruh. He needs to go. He needs to go. They need to slap his bald head real quick first and put a bullet in the back of it. Okay. And this is why I say Power is not good for him, because I'm so riled up. I need this man to go.
Okay. I don't feel that same way. I just think he's corny. But the lawyer for me, right, in terms of the whole relationship, oh yes, Ghost, he's a killer. Oh my God, should be petrified. First of all, Ghost didn't even respect his relationship in the first place. So really, I feel like, it's open season. You ain't respecting the first place to do whatever. You running all around town with Angela Valdez. Okay. So at this moment in time, I could do whatever. I mean, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that if Ghost ain't respected, I'm saying then I feel like he probably was like, this is an opportunity for me to come in and do whatever. Now, the reason why I'm upset with Tasha for messing with the lawyer and why he even gotta go, it's just that he's corny to me. Okay. I don't like the way his lips look. And I just feel like every time he talks and he's saying something to Tasha, I legitimately cringe. I roll my eyes. I'm just like, ew, get him off my screen. Like he is not really doing nothing for the storyline. I'd rather they bring up Sean from the dead. Okay. If you guys have a lapse in, memory, Sean was
memory.
son, Kanan's son,
Yep.
the driver that Tasha was sleeping with. I'd rather her sleep with him than to sleep with a lawyer. That's one. Now, two, in regards to, I spoke about Tariq a little bit. I'm going to get back to him because I really could go on forever about him. Lawrence Tate, his fine ass. Yeah, he's not going nowhere. Because I do want to see his fine ass on TV. Now, is that really a valid reason?
Wow.
No, but I don't give a fuck. Okay? And we do know he's a little shady, and I actually really want them to flush
a little
out.
shady? The nigga's a lot shady.
Okay. Sorry. We know he's shady, right? But I really want to see how that really plays out in the storyline. So they can't do nothing with him just yet. We just really need to see how that plays out. Now, three, Dre, aka Rotimi, aka Nigerian Butterscotch, alright? This man has to go. If he does not die in this season of Power, I am literally going to 50 Cent IG page. Oh, can you DM celebrities? Whatever. Leave in a comment something stating, he's not even a writer. Okay, so I gotta go to Courtney Kemp, right? And state, this man has to die, or he gotta get locked up, or something needs to affect him seriously. Because right now, this man feels like he's on top. He feels like he could take Ghost. This man is feeling himself so much that he even went to the gravesite where Ghost just buried his daughter, having an intimate moment. There's a lot of emotions round up, going on within Ghost, I'm sure. And Dre had the audacity to pull up and talking about, I know you're not strapped at your daughter's funeral. Who do you think you are? Okay, for that fact and all the other shit you've been doing, killing Julio, who I really love, you have to die.
Yeah. Bro.
Yeah. That's how I feel about everything else.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing with, okay, so guys, to give you a backstory on what happened in, episode 1, obviously Raina died in the last season because Tariq's dumbass was being a little bitch. And Raina was also kind of dumb too, confronting somebody who knows who's a killer to say, hey, I know who you are, blah, blah, blah. And he blew her away. Lord have mercy. That scene, he blew her away.
I'm not even upset Raina died because I wasn't really into the acting. So
yeah, she was kind of bland. But either way, I mean, like there's really not, like her role wasn't that crazy. It was a daughter, that's all she was. But either way, right? That's to kind of give you a backstory, guys, for those maybe who don't even watch Power. So, and if you don't watch Power, that's kind of weird. So do better. But while at the church, Tommy and I guess Tommy had organized, a few fellas to grab Dre and whatnot and say it's going to happen. So he was telling Ghost, and Tariq overheard it. Now, when Tariq overheard, I knew that was going to do something because his face has that bitch face. Like, I'm going to do something just stupid face, right? That's just like, he's always going to do some dumb shit face. So he goes into the bathroom and tells Dre, he just sends a simple text, run. And he runs. Dre ends up getting away from the people and whatnot. And which gives Dre the confidence because now he's backed by the cartel. I can't remember the cartel's name. But he's backed by the cartel now. So now he feels like he has this, he's now all high and mighty. And he could talk to whoever he wants. And my issue with Dre is that the reason he's not at the top of my list to die is because he's a cornball. He's one of those dudes that, ladies, I'm sure you can attest to this. Like when a certain guy's in front of his friends, he gets all the confidence in the world to, talk so suave or maybe disrespect you or something like that. Or maybe that guy, when you're walking down the street, hollers at you like, hey, man. When you ignore him, he says, well, fuck you then. That's the type of nigga Dre is, right? The only nigga that has so much confidence when he's around his niggas. But when he's by himself, it's like, hey, bro, you're not that built. Like, Ghost is different, right? Ghost or Tommy. Tommy talks shit regardless whether they're 1 or 50 people, right? Like, it doesn't matter who it is. So, Tommy is just that nigga. Ghost is the same way. Ghost is more so like, hey, bro, let's talk this out, blah, blah. And he's not hype, but like, Ghost is about that work. Dre is just like, nigga, bro, you're whack. Like, so I can't even put you at the top of the list because I know, like, you're just that corny. Like, I'm sure he's gonna have a corny death, or he might not even die at all because he's a big figure in power. I don't know how many big figures have really died because you saw how they brought Kanan back. So it's like, I don't see him like for real getting shot in the head or getting shot and his character dying off unless maybe he just wants to leave the show and they want to kill off his character. But he's not.
No, I think
he's just regular.
I think he'll probably end up in jail. And yes, and like you said, the ladies' kids has Jay's character really strikes me as, like you say, a little corny, got a little play here and there. Now he let that shit get to his head. That's exactly who Dre is. But you see, the problem with that is if you are corny and you got a little play, you was at the bottom, now you're starting to rise up a little bit due to whatever circumstance, is that eventually you don't hold no weight because your corniness and all that shit starts to get exposed. So you're going to go right back down to the bottom. And the day that Dre goes back to the bottom, I am going to rejoice. Okay? He has to go. They'll probably put him in jail, like I said, and he'll probably try to do some elaborate escape plan, kind of similar to Prison Break. I don't know. He'll probably do some shit. But one of the other things that we did not touch upon is Tommy, okay? Having the backup of his father's mob, the Italian,
his new daddy,
whatever.
Yeah, I think they're Irish.
Is it the Irish?
I think so.
Or was it both?
Tommy Egan, I think he's Irish. I don't think he's Italian.
The mob was an Italian?
I think they were the Irish mob.
Okay, either way, we'll fact check.
But keep going, yeah.
Italian. But then going out and hiring them as hitmen, and the guy coming out and kind of seeing that some type of he caught the end part of it, whoever that guy was, but seeing the transaction, there was some type of transaction that had occurred between Tommy and those two guys that he had just hired as hitmen. And we know, Tommy to be very erratic. And what's the other word I'm looking for? Someone who don't think things through, right? He doesn't always think things through. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out, especially since I didn't watch the second episode yet, to see how that plays out. One, because, they were a little apprehensive. Oh, can you trust him? We're like, yeah, you could trust him. Then he goes around, hires the hitman, as we've seen when they were trying to get Dre, end up getting killed. So just seeing how that really plays effect in the whole, Tommy and his father's new relationship, Tommy and that whole mom's relationship, and just seeing how that plays out. We know Tommy to be a hot-headed. Yes. That's the word I was looking for.
Super hot-headed.
He's super hot-headed. And actually, I don't know if you saw, when he was on a Breakfast Club, obviously not Tommy, but, the actor that plays Tommy, Joseph Sikora.
Joseph Sikora.
Yeah. And he was talking about that he really, is that angry or was that angry, in real life. And he needed to go to anger management for that because it was really taking a toll on him and relationships and stuff. And that, when I saw that part in the Breakfast Club, I was like, you know what? It makes a little sense because the rage or the way that Tommy acts and stuff, and then the actor playing him, Joseph Sikora, I felt like he really was that angry.
It's too genuine.
Yeah, it was too good. Like,
it's too genuine.
Good. So I was like, nah, I feel like, and he looks crazy. Like, he looked like one of them.
How much pussy do you think he's gotten in real life just off, like, the strength of Tommy Egan?
He's married. That
Okay.
doesn't mean anything. I know in this day and
That
age, we are
means
heathens.
not
But
y'all. Listen, I'm just saying that doesn't mean. I'm just saying. Listen, bro. Tommy
gotten
Egan,
or
maybe.
theoretically thrown at, like how much?
Okay. Okay. Let's say thrown at. Let's say thrown at because I think he's married to a black woman, right? Is he or no?
No, I don't think
No. Hold up. I'll look this up. We gotta start fact checking on this show.
I really don't think he
See.
is. I think it's a white
Yep.
woman. But anyway,
Oh.
so yeah, so I just felt like he really channeled that anchor too well. So just for him to say on a Breakfast Club, like, hey, this is actually, I really am still working on it type of anger. I was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he looks, especially when he opens his eyes wide, he looks psychotic. Like, I really feel like he channels that from within. So it be scaring me. So I'm like, yeah, Tommy, we see you.
I'm
So,
happy he got this role though. I'm happy because I did not know of Joseph Sikora before Power. I did. Apparently, he wasn't like I think he was like a pregnant woman or something. He wasn't like what's that show? Grey's Anatomy. Um, I'm gonna look for that picture and post it on our page, guys. But it's such a funny picture because when you think about Tommy Egan and you look at that picture, you're like, how Sway? But it's hilarious. But either way, Tommy Egan. Yeah, continue as you were saying.
yeah, no, so I was pretty much done with the Tommy Egan front. I just want to see how, him hiring those hitmen and them ended up, dead in the mission, how that's going to play out in terms of the new relationship that he just
Mm-hmm.
created. And another thing we didn't talk about, going back to the lawyer and Tasha, is how her mom saw them kissing, which
Caught.
didn't really look like they
Yeah.
were kissing. It looked like they were kissing each other on the cheek for an extended period of time, but what. So either way, it kissing, right? And how the mom caught her and stuff. And I
Mm-hmm.
know what I don't really like about Power, in terms of like Tasha and her side of the family relationships is like the mom comes and goes like randomly. They have another daughter that randomly appears and disappears. Like we never know what's going on with that last daughter. So I'm just like, so
Mm-hmm.
some things to me aren't as completely fleshed out as they should be. I feel like what's the point of them having another daughter? Like either she's there or she's not, and even
She's
though
not there. Yeah.
she's a child, so, maybe they don't think it to be as pivotal. People won't notice if she's there or not. I notice. And it's annoying to me because it's like just either have some type of,
Maybe she's in
not
the room
even a,
sleeping all the time.
no, it's just weird. Like, once in a while they reference her. Like, it's just weird. But, and then the mom too. So it's kind of like, do we know? Does the mom know? Or I can't remember if the mom knows what Ghost has been doing in terms of infidelity.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious. I don't know. I don't think she does. I'm more so wondering if she knows what Ghost does, like who Ghost really, really is, like, or if she just thinks he's a businessman.
I don't think she knows. I think maybe she knew at a point because, they all grew up together and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was running the streets even from when they were young. So maybe she knew like he was on the
Younger,
streets, but
yeah.
maybe thinks he went legit. So maybe she doesn't know like he still has like his foot in that game,
Honestly, man, you got to dip everybody on that show in rice because, um, yeah, I don't know. You gotta just dip everybody in rice because everybody's just tripping on that show. From Angela. Angela's not even that cute. Like, oh my gosh, she's not even fine. And this nigga's, oh God.
Damn, we
Tasha
didn't even
got,
talk about
Tasha,
Angela.
Angela's trash. Like, and her deleting the gun for Tariq, like, wow, let that nigga go to jail. Let him get scared straight for a few episodes or something. Let him sweat it out a bit and
No,
come
because
back.
that shit is going
But
to come back to her. Everything is going to come back to her. Everything. And the whatever her name is, Lieutenant, I don't even know who she is, Special Force, whatever, a lady that is going to have Angela sweating. I was
mm-hmm.
dying. I was like, you know what? Angela does kind of need a challenge because she has been challenged a little bit before in regards to her and the whole ghost situation, but she hasn't really been sweating. She's managed to get herself out of all the situations that she has put herself in stupidly thus far. And you know what? You know my beef with Angela, it's not really even that the fact like, oh, she was dealing with ghosts, yada yada yada. It's the fact that she's stupid. It's the fact that in all her dealings, she has been stupid, and even more stupid. So I am particularly pleased to see someone who will, essentially challenge Angela, and let's just see how Angela gets out of this one. Because
Yeah, because she's the new or the AUS, what's it, the U.S. Attorney from New York, right, or something like that.
Yeah, like some high.
Yeah, she's dumb as fuck. I don't know why she's risking her career for some dick. Ain't
it's
that
not
deep?
even dick.
But,
now, at this point, she's risking it now because her name is literally all up in the foo-foo.
Mixed up in the foo-foo.
That shit got foo-foo soup, the goat meat, everything is in there. So now she's like, I gotta get out. I have to get out. And unfortunately for her to get out, she gotta do some more shiesty shit. So we gotta see how it works out. And I still don't think, even if she logged in as somebody else, I don't know. In my head, when I saw her do that, I was like, don't they track IP addresses nowadays? Even if you logged into whatever else, like even you guys know, if you log on to your Gmail account from somewhere else, then they show you another email, like your email has been logged on to another device.
If they really want to, yeah.
So I feel
if they really wanted to find out, they could. They could have if they. But obviously it's a show, so for theatrics and whatnot, they're gonna leave some things out. But you could track a device's actual IP and MAC address to see who logged onto it. And granted, when they see the IP address and the MAC address and doesn't match with the user ID for what the person's usually regularly logged on with, it draws some flags. But here's the thing, it's a show, so niggas not gonna go that deep into it. I'm sure niggas really are not thinking that much unless you're really technically savvy or whatnot. You're not gonna be thinking that much into it. So
I did, yeah. Because I was like,
But honestly, everybody in that show everybody has to go. Even Proctor nowadays is tripping, but I can't even blame Proctor because he kept the laptop for security, just because Tommy was tripping and whatnot. But
how's he tripping?
I feel like it's gonna backfire.
He helped them.
He kept the laptop. Remember the laptop that has all the info of the dealings that they do?
Yeah.
He kept the laptop though. He was supposed to throw it away.
Yeah, he did it for security. I don't blame him.
Yeah, but I guess not, but I think he's still tripping though, because we know this is a show. We know somebody's gonna get their hands on it. Somebody's gonna find out something, and it might be there's this new detective that keeps showing up that's investigating the cop's murder. I feel like she's gonna get her hands on the laptop, and then they're gonna have to kill her. Or some shit. Power's always killing somebody that knows too much information. So somebody's gonna die very soon. And yeah, so I'm interested to see what's going on. But at the end of the day, guys, the moral of the story or at least a synopsis to sum it up in episode 1, Tariq is trash.
Yes.
And that might be the same synopsis for episode 2. But
no, it's going
for
to be
episode
the
1.
synopsis until he dies, quite frankly, because this man, he is the reason why they're all in this mess. But the one last thing I want to touch on is Ghost, aka James St. Patrick, aka Amari Hardwick. And Amari Hardwick is really such a perfect human being. Now, the way he carries himself on the show, very statuesque. He speaks well. He's very groomed and trimmed in the suits. And even when he gets down and dirty, Amari Hardwick legitimately is so fine to me. And I hate to be like, oh my God, like pressuring doing all this shit on the show, but like, I just really needed to state how perfect looking of a human being he is. He is the perfect build, nice complexion, everything. So I genuinely enjoy watching him on Power. And honestly,
but he's so corny.
No. Everything that happens on Power really needs to protect Ghost. Like, he was my main interest at this point. And yes, sometimes I've been angry with him. He has fucked up. He's done some very stupid shit. Angela Valdez, okay? But at the end of the day, Ghost has to make it out unscathed. That's my biggest thing. So, he does.
I like Ghost the show, and that's something I feel like I wish Ghost could also keep that persona and, you know, wear it in real life, because in real life he cannot dress to save his fucking life. He is very, very corny. And I feel so bad saying this, because he's an alpha man, you know, he's a fellow brother, but he's so corny. Oh my God. It's so bad. Like, he cannot dress to save. And I don't understand how somebody with so much money, not even saying that money equals style, but money gives you access to stylists that can help you dress. Nigga, all you have to do is go watch episodes of Power and just dress yourself. And that's all you got to do. But the man's corny, bro.
He doesn't want to dress in suits all the time in his regular life.
I mean, you don't even have to wear suits. Just wear some, bro. His color coordination with the accessories he wears and oh my goodness, they're so bad. They're so bad. Like, go watch the interview on Breakfast Club, I think, with Terry Crews while he's there. I was looking at him the whole time, like, bro, what are you wearing right now? And even when he just out and about, like, what are you wearing? But, you know, It is okay. It's what happens usually when you're married to a white woman.
Chima, please behave, okay? Please behave. One, I think outside of you know, acting and stuff like that.
Gloria, before you go, Gloria, before you go, I have to elaborate on that point, because most white women I know, most black men that are married to white women can dress. Look at Tim Duncan. Like, guys, open your phones right now and Google Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan shops at Former Mills. The man cannot dress to save his wife. His wife was wife, because she cheated on him, apparently. Go look at Ice-T. Ice-T can't dress to save his life either. Even on Law & Order, the man can't fucking dress. I think Coco cheated on him too. Like, bro, like, there's a trend going on here, guys. Tay Diggs, I don't think Tay Diggs can dress.
When did you hear that Coco cheated on Ice-T?
They were having problems, though. I know they were doing something was happening in their marriage, though.
And if they was having problems, Ice-T probably cheated. Let's move forward.
I mean, maybe he cheated, but either way, man. Yeah.
That was a very small sample.
Okay, but continue with your point, though.
Your point. My point is that
it's large enough.
Point is that Omari Hardwick, his fine ass, okay, he, you know, outside of Power and the other projects that he does, he has stated that he's really into poetry, sometimes even dancing. I do wish he would stop on the dancing front. I have seen a video or two, and I was just like, oh my, you know. But, you know, corny is not always bad, like Safari.
That's fine.
He's corny, but it works for him. I like it, okay? His corniness.
Okay, listen. No. The reason why now Safari's corny is okay to you, because you saw his fucking dick on, and we had a whole podcast episode about it. So now his corny is acceptable because he has some length and girth to go with that corniness. But continue.
No, actually you're wrong. Because
so you can't even talk right.
Shut up. I've said that before about Safari, that what has his corniness, it was him being on Love and Hip Hop, and we actually started to see his personality. When we saw from before, his personality was under the shadow of Nicki Minaj, and he just looked super whack, right? But now, when he got on Love and Hip Hop, okay, he's still corny, but we start to see a little more personality. He be cracking jokes, shit like that. It makes you laugh. You're like, oh, damn, he kind of corny, but he make me laugh and all this shit. So then you start rocking with it. Then the little video, picture, whatever came out. And then for some other women might have swung them over on Safari's team. Now, what I'm saying.
That's why we had a whole podcast episode devoted to penis, right?
That
but continue.
Something completely unrelated. And if you guys are just starting to listen to us now with this episode, I do encourage you guys to go back to our track list and listen to the episode where we had a completely different episode planned, but ended up talking about some other things. Anyway, moving forward. So for Omari, he's a little corny, like, you know, outside everything else. And you know what? I kind of like it. One, because I think he's fine as hell. So quite frankly, I would be rocking pretty much anything he's doing. but he said he's a poet. He likes to be expressive. He likes to show that side. So it's a little different from the man we see on Power, and I like it. And
Okay. Well, guys, if you're also curious about what Gloria is talking about, that's episode 17 called "The Box Ain't Gonna Be Checked," and you will also find out why the title is that in that episode. It's actually a very, very good, informative episode, so you might want to check it out. But yeah, back to the regular show. Either way, point is, Tariq gotta die, Gloria gotta die. Who else gotta die? The Lawrence Tate gotta die. No. Everybody just gotta go, bro. Everybody just gotta go.
Dre and Tariq gotta die, especially his corny ass. You had your sister's funeral and you heard whatever they got the drop on Dre, and you decided your first instinct was to fake cry, run into the bathroom and text that nigga run? The man who is basically who is out there for your father? Like, what the fuck happens to loyalty? What the fuck did Ghost ever do to you for you to turn your back on your dad? But you know what? That's why he just gotta die. Let's move on. I can't talk about him anymore because I legit be getting angry.
I can't wait for Insecure to come back so we can also have more topics about it. It should be a lit season. But moving right along, next month. Mm-hmm. Always lit. We're gonna have topics for days, guys. Apparently she's talking about Issa Rae's gonna be talking about black men this season, so it should be very interesting. I can't wait. Hopefully, maybe we might have some guests for you guys. But moving right along, staying on the same track with 50 Cent and Kanan. I don't know if you guys are familiar with 50 Cent's show on BET. I believe his show is called 50 Central. The only reason I'm bringing it up to you because it was a very, very funny episode, and it was just hilarious because to see the lengths people go when angry, or maybe what you would do if you had some angry customer service rep on the phone. So this episode has Charlamagne the God, and Charlamagne the God to me is very, very talented. Yes, he could be a fuck nigga from time to time, but usually he's usually on point. He's very good at what he does, and he could be a dick. Obviously, you've seen with his segment on the Breakfast Club Donkey of the Day. This episode, he was playing a customer service rep who was pretty much answering calls for people who had high bills or whatever. But in this episode, he was just like really, really, it was really, really extra. So like, I remember a few times and I wish we could play it on here for you, but copyright issues, niggas ain't trying to get sued. We don't have that much money. So yeah.
Right.
He pretty much, the link is in the show notes. You just want to watch it. He's pretty much like just being a rude customer service rep who is just like, bro, if I was on the if I was on the other end of it, the guy actually talked to the customer service rep, nah, we'd have to find out where this company was, their headquarters at, and pull up on there because the shit Charlamagne was saying, bro, too funny. But yeah, that was just it. I just want to tell you guys that to go watch it because I saw it.
Cracking up by himself.
It was funny. It was so funny because I was dying, yo.
Yeah, it's similar to those shows. Well, not even like Punk'd with Ashton Kutcher on MTV, but remember MTV had this show. I forgot what it was called, where they would have the camera set up and it would be like a bad date, basically, and they would have to see how much money they could get. They would get a certain amount of money based on how long they would last during the day or during like whatever scenario they were in. So like kind of like what 50 Cent is doing now, and like with Charlamagne, I guess other guests and stuff like that, is pranking them and seeing how long. So they would get, every minute they lasted, they would get $1, I think. And I think the max you could last was, I think 30 or 60 minutes. And then you would just make a quick buck off that. But they would literally harass you. So that's what that, BET, that 50 Cent show reminded me of.
50 Central, yeah, it's pretty much about, but guys, check it out. It's
because he be trolling.
It's so perfect. And bruh, it's so good. Actually, there's a reason. Thank you for saying that, because there's a reason I brought this up as well, because not only for you guys to see it, which is in the show notes, but just to talk about 50 Cent in general as well. And I know he's the trolling guy. He's the funny guy. He's the guy that, says outlandish things because he's just that funny guy. But this wave he's been on, especially, and it hit me most when this whole Terry Crews thing. And I'm sure he's probably pissed other people off because obviously, you know, there's certain topics that will tick you off. Not everything will tick you off. But what got my blood a little boiling with 50 Cent was the whole Terry Crews joke he made about, you know, Terry Crews being big and why he couldn't fight off. And this guy, you know, pretty much playing and mocking him about the whole sexual assault issue that Terry Crews is facing. And for somebody, my other thing is that for somebody who got shot 9 times, right, you would think that you would have at least an understanding of the energy that you don't want to put out into the world, you know? Why are you putting these things, like, for somebody, I know Terry Crews obviously is not going to go fight 50 Cent, and obviously 50 Cent is like this, probably has goons that will want to kill people, whatever, but, bro, it's going to get to a point where you're going to piss off the wrong person, the wrong time, and you're going to die. And when you die, I'm not going to feel sorry at all, because the energy that you're putting out there is not good. You've been shot 9 times. The Lord gave you a second chance to do some kind of good on this earth. And I don't know if you're using that good wisely or that second chance wisely, but you got to fix up, my G. But he's a New York nigga, so I don't expect much from New Yorkers.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
Thanks for the shot, asshole. But I think for 50 Cent one, it's just jokes to him, you know? I think even TMZ asked Terry Crews, like, how do you feel about, you know, everything going on? How do you feel about people's responses to you stating that you were sexually harassed? And how do you feel about 50 Cent making jokes? And he was like, it's all love. Like, he know that he be cracking jokes and stuff like that. So he's not taking it, you know, to heart. But I think with 50 Cent, it's not even an issue like he's cracking jokes. I think, and you know, that's why people do like 50 Cent. He is outlandish. He says what's on his mind. He cracks jokes, yada, yada, yada. But I think, especially in this day and age, like, you really just got to be careful what you're cracking jokes about. Like, yes, they didn't like, oh, Terry Crews is huge as hell and he could have fought them off. Or like some people stating, oh, like, I think I heard a couple of people stating, oh, like, I'm a black man. Like, all you have to do is, we know, like, that shit don't go down like that. We don't care who it is. Anybody touching me is on site, yada, yada, yada. You know, people say a lot about what they would do if they're in certain situations. But I think for 50 Cent and on the subject matter, especially, like, with, you know, sexual harassment is a big thing, but everything going on, I just don't think I would have just left that alone. You know, maybe crack jokes within inner circles, like, but did it have to be put out there for everybody to see? Like, I didn't think it was necessary. You know,
it's not.
But you know, a lot of people do share his sentiment. Like, why couldn't he just fight them off? And I think it's kind of like, hey, like, we missing the bigger picture here, basically.
Here's the thing. Now he fought him off. Here's this big black dude who was fighting. I'm sure I haven't even seen this white guy, but as a white guy, I'm guessing he's definitely going to be smaller than Terry Crews, and less muscular. So he's just going to look, the optics are going to look crazy, right? Mm-hmm. So then the guy maybe might sue him, and then Terry Crews is in court anyway, which is Terry Crews' point. Is like, listen, at the end of the day, if I hit this guy, I'm probably going to end up back here anyway fighting, but now I'm going to be fighting for, you know, my career, maybe not jail time or money or whatever, you know. And at the end of the day, it's like Terry Crews is doing a service to everybody. He's doing a service to men. And the fact that Russell Simmons could even call him and say, hey, you should, you know, fall back, or, you know, I don't think you should press charges, or, you know, follow this up. Terry Crews spoke in that saying that abusers defend abusers. And that's correct, because I think 17 women have come out to speak against Russell Simmons, and that nigga got to go.
Son, when he said that, I don't know if you guys, and what we're referencing to is Terry Crews' Breakfast Club interview. It wasn't just Terry Crews. Mm-hmm. It was Amari Hardwick and, oh Lord, I forgot the other man's name. It's something with a B as well. And they were promoting their new movie. But of course, with everything going on with, you know, Terry Crews and his sexual harassment claims, you know, that's what took up a lot of the interviews. So he did state that when Russell Simmons did ask him to kind of just let the shit go, he was like, and he said, abusers defend abusers. Man, when I say my eyes widened when I heard that, and you know what?
Bro, I'm like, Terry Crews is holding no punches.
No, none. I said, this man said, he don't give a fuck. Like, he was like, I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to tell my truth. And, I respected that because, a lot of times too, how I've always felt, especially in things like this, the people who be going the hardest, let's just say like, oh, you should let it go, or it's not that big of a deal, or everybody, like, people are lying now, people are seeing this, that, and the third, tend to be the ones who have been caught up in the
are doing the bad,
themselves, or doing the bad. Because I always feel like if it doesn't really affect you, or if you got what they say, if you got no whatever in this race, no leg in this race, no whatever, how that saying goes, then a lot of this shit don't affect you. You know what I'm saying? Then it's kind of like, oh, okay, these are people who are telling their truths, or this is what has happened to them, and they're coming out and saying it. When it starts getting a little murky for me, and obviously there's certain things as well, people lying, yes, or, or certain people, yes, we know that's there. Like, I don't want to take away from that fact too, that a lot of stuff is going on, and some things can be misconstrued. Some things are taken out of context. Like, yes, we know that's there as well. Cause somebody's going to come back and be like, no, well, we know some people are lying. Okay. Yeah. Right. I feel like that goes without saying, but and everything these days, you just have to say it. So, now I lost my point. Oh, my point being is that a lot of times the people, like I said, who do go the hardest are people who are usually doing it themselves, or have gotten caught in the foo-foo before. So when he did say abusers defend abusers, I was like, you better speak on that, Terry Crews, because that's where I see a lot of the verbiage coming from. Like, if it doesn't matter,
straight for the neck.
Straight for the neck.
Straight for the jugular. Because my man, he didn't say on some. Yeah, even people were hitting me up saying that I should let that go. This man, he took a book out of Mrs. Parker's playbook. If you're not gonna say the name, leave it on the playground type thing. And he called him out. And now, and the fact that this guy has, at first when allegations came out against what's his name, Russell Simmons, I thought it was like, oh, it's just maybe they might be trying to get another person down or another rich guy. But after 17 women, bruh, this ain't gotta go. Get that nigga the fuck out of here. But, either way, I'm happy for Terry Crews. I hope that 50 Cent would, I don't know. I hope the energy he's really putting out there really got to, he either switches it up, or he is aware, or I don't know. I think he just needs to chill.
Yeah, I just think that right now with everything, especially not even right now, just period. Like, there's certain subject matters that are very subject matter that are very sensitive and hard to joke about, and that is one of them. It's not even in lieu of everything that is going on. It really is just period. Like, and yes, we gotta hit the man. We know maybe Terry Crews can take the joke. We know 50 Cent, the yada yada, talking all this shit, whatever. But I would just chill on them jokes. Like, it's not really necessary to have be put.
Honestly,
if you wanted to even joke about it, and you joking about it amongst your circles and your people, whatever, we as the world, as a collective, don't know about that shit. So, do you?
God bless, my guy. Do you? Finally, I think we should just end up this episode on some music, because, guys, if you haven't noticed, and if you haven't noticed, you probably are living under a rock, Patrick Star, that with all this music coming out, between Drake, Future, who else dropped? Drake, Future, J. Cole, Nas, Beyonce, Tiana, Kanye, Pusha, J. Cole, Beyonce and Jay. Like, between all these people, bro, there's music everywhere. And obviously this has all been within the span of maybe
a month.
Maybe the end of May.
6 weeks.
A month. Yeah, it's June. Yeah.
No, Pusha dropped, I think, May 25th. So the whole Gemini season.
So yeah, legit about 6 weeks.
Ow.
Pretty much. Okay. Relax. And I haven't been, like, honestly, it's almost impossible for me to fully, because it takes me a while, like, especially when I enjoy an album, I always want to keep listening to it. So I can't just listen to one thing for maybe a week and say, okay, now I'm going to move on to the next one, because I feel like you don't really enjoy the music as much as you should.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been listening to all the albums. I've only listened to one song off Tiana Taylor's album, which was the Rose from Harlem, something like that. Harlem Rose. What's it
I
called?
haven't
Hold on.
even listened to her
I
album. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Oh no, you gotta listen to Rose in Harlem. Like Rose in Harlem is a banging song. Actually, I'll send that to you now. Just listen to that later on. Then I haven't listened to the rest of it. Push's album was cool, but obviously Drake. We're gonna focus, I guess, maybe on Drake, Future. I think those are the two main ones that really dropped recently. Yeah, Drake and Future. Did you listen to any of them?
I did listen to. I heard one song off Future's album. I didn't even know he dropped a project. So
He did. Oh, and Meek dropped as well.
He dropped.
Yeah, I didn't listen to Meek though yet, but he dropped like an EP. Like they dropped the same day. He and Future.
Damn, what day was this? I'm so disconnected from everything that is going on.
This was on. What's today? It was on. I went to pub Thursday night. Thursday night, Friday, like 12 midnight. Yeah, 12 midnight Friday morning.
That out the loop. Okay, so it just dropped. So
yeah, it just dropped.
Okay, so I did hear the one song, like I said, off Future's album. I can't remember the title. Sorry. I did hear
Color
1
My Wrist?
a.m. No. I did hear 1 a.m. from Meek, which I actually really like that record. And then for Drake, I heard a couple tracks. Honestly, it takes, with everything in this culture now, like, we on just one thing. Yeah. It's not even a week now. It's literally we on something for one day, then we move on to the next. So it's so like, it's just a lot of stuff to listen to. And like you said, I'm kind of like the same with you. I need to sit with something for a while before I either move on to another thing, or even if I am listening to multiple projects simultaneously, like everything is not going to hit me in that effect. Like I could only give you honestly a high level overview of what I think and what I'm feeling, but everything else in terms of like a solid review would have to come at a later date, because as we know, even with certain things, like you go back to and listen to them and it hits you a little differently than the first time you heard it. So I like to so everything. I know last week we talked about Jay-Z and Beyonce, which I did listen to, but Tiana's I didn't get a chance to listen to. Future I haven't heard, but Future's it's an album I think I like to listen to in a car. So I guess I'll listen to that soon. Meek, he's always yelling, but I am interested to hear, especially with everything that has happened to him recently.
Honestly, the best fit. Word.
Yeah, how that's kind of influenced his.
I think honestly, the best place to probably even listen to music is honestly in the car. That's, I don't know, for some reason, it's just everything just sounds better there in the car.
Right. Yeah. So, it's a lot to listen to. I haven't, and I really do want to because I really want to do an in-depth analysis about Drake's album, and I've listened to half of it. But what I would say, about Drake's album is that not really what I would say, which is kind of a question, almost rhetorical, but either way, in terms of, the whole Pusha diss. We knew Drake was releasing in June. We didn't know when. And so with everything that came out with "You Are Hiding a Child," which to this day still cracks me up because of the way Pusha said it. He was like, "You are hiding a child."
Hiding a child. Yeah, that's so funny.
I said, Push, you better go ahead and spill the tea. Shit. But with everything going on, and obviously we know, I just want to know, obviously, I guess my question is, we knew that obviously the subject matter would change in regards to what Drake was rapping about, because since he didn't release a diss due to, it ending careers and shit, how it's going to play out on, allegedly, okay? How it was going to play out on the album. I just want to know if he was going to talk about it at all, or Pusha really forced his hand, Because they did say rumors were swirling about it for a while in regards to him having a child, and I think I did hear that rumor once before, but was he gonna even talk about it at all, or did Pusha just, you know?
Force him to talk about it? Because even our group chat, we're talking about it, how now, because I think maybe Pusha kind of forced his hand, he's kind of over explaining himself when it comes to talking about the child. Like, hey, I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah. Like, bro, like, just say, hey, you had a child, you were taking care of the child, and that's it, and just keep on rapping about other stuff. But I feel like now he had to overcompensate, trying to make sure he's like this great guy or this um this good figure, so that people don't look at him as a deadbeat dad or whatever. But
Right. Because we know
yeah.
Drake he wants to be the nice guy. This nigga out here trying to save strippers. Not saying that they don't need saving. I'm just saying that Malaya, right, was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you out the strip club. I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. And she was like, yeah, no. And, he just wants to be that guy, So I know with this whole child thing, this shit was irking for it to come out like that, because it makes you look like a deadbeat. And like he said in his, whatever song that was, is that he didn't want, like, what happened with him and him growing up in the situation between his parents. He basically did not want that to happen, with his child either. And so I just think, it's interesting, and I do feel like he did have to overcompensate a little bit.
But even speaking on the Drake and Pusha T issue, not to even because we have the other albums there, but the Drake and Pusha T album, not album, issue, Drake, a lot of his shots came at Kanye because apparently, what happened was he told Kanye all the child stories and his issues in confidence. Mm-hmm. And Kanye, I guess, for some whatever reason, went and became a chatty patty and told Pusha, which is how Pusha got all the info to use on the album. So a lot of the bars, especially when you hear it on what's the name? On the response Drake had to Pusha T initially, and even on the album as well, was directed at Kanye, because Kanye kind of betrayed his trust and he's just kind of hurt. And I feel him on that. Like, especially if you tell somebody something in confidence, you don't expect them to go tell your business to the world,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Or just to other people.
Kanye's a dumbass.
And yeah.
Exactly.
Kanye be showing his that. He be acting like a true Gemini man. But I think too, and that's why I think some people was like, oh, like a lot of the Drake seem like is geared towards Kanye, and then finding out it was like, oh, okay, like, we were having a conversation about certain things, and then basically it was used as ammo on a diss, it's corny.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that shit, period. And that's why I'm very selective about, like, telling my business, because we don't know. Did Kanye give it to him as ammo for the diss? But one day they were just talking and then he just decided to state Drake's business. Like, who knows? And then it was like Pusha knew then, this was the perfect opportunity to do so. Either way, you said too much. And, sometimes people don't know what they're saying. I mean, for me, I just don't try to talk about, other people's business to other people, because you just don't know what people are okay with or not. Maybe you thought it wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal to them. So I'd rather just not even go there and just keep my mouth shut, period. But again, like, I don't know the context and how the information came out, but either way it came out, and so either way it's a problem. So, I mean, I feel Drake on that. I would be throwing my little shots at Kanye too. And it just goes to show, I just feel like all of this shit is just stupid. And, I mean, it's good for the culture, the beef and all this shit, but I know Drake was turning when that shit came out, because he's like, damn, now I gotta really explain myself. And if this was not something you were ready to speak on and somebody forcing a hand on it, I would be irritated,
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, my question: did you? Well, I when it comes to the Drake album, side A was cool. I'm not a rap person per se. I like vibey music, like R&B, or even like just vibe, like Mr. Easy type vibes, or just like chill music. So like side B was my areas where I live on the Drake album. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Peak is my song. The song with Michael Jackson, and obviously In My Feelings, I believe is the name. With Kiki, Do You Love Me? That's my jam.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you're seeing the dances all around. So Peak, Blue Tint, and My Feelings don't matter to me. And Final Fantasy are my main songs. Blue Tint also gets like an honorable mention. Those are my main songs. Now on the rap side, I'll really listen to Nonstop and maybe God's Plan, but God's Plan has been out. I don't really count Nice for What and God's Plan as part of it, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now the Future album is hot. Like Future album, obviously it sounds like a regular Future album. If you've heard one, you probably heard them all.
Mm-hmm.
But it still gets you turned when the liquor's in your system, you know. So when the liquor's in your system, you turn up, or you're sitting in a car, you want to blast something, you want to blast 31 Days. 31 Days is your go-to song on the Future album. And Dodo is a hot song. But yeah, I'm still yet to listen to Meek's EP, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm just going to say that summer 2018 has been kind of like summer 2015, where all the music was dropping and it was just lit.
What was
So
summer
guys, if you haven't
2015?
listened to it, summer 2015 was lit for me, man. It's like, that was when Future dropped March Madness. There was, Drake dropped, what did Drake drop? Was that? I think he and Future dropped that album together
That was
with
2015.
Scholarship. I believe so. What a time.
Yeah, what a time to
Well,
be
let's
alive.
see. Yeah, but
Um,
alive. Yeah, I believe it was 2015 because that's when everybody was just dropping
yeah,
songs,
that
yo.
came out like
Everybody was
September,
dropping, and it was lit.
October, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I
Yeah, what time to
remember
be alive?
because
2015. Yep.
yeah, that was right before we went to like homecoming.
Yeah. So I mean, guys, it's been lit. Music is up there. You know, try to enjoy the music and not be on this need to rush through the music as quickly as possible just because you want to join the conversation. I still haven't fully listened to Childish Gambino's album with Redbone on it, so I still have to get to that. But
I'm
yeah.
fucking dead. Chima, that album is like, I was like, that album is, it's like, well, almost 2 years now. Sir, I'm gonna need you to get it
Yep.
together. But yeah, you know what? Let's revisit this conversation also. It'll be real brief, guys. I know some of you guys might not even listen to this music, so it's kind of like in one ear out the other, but I haven't listened to any of these albums, so I would definitely listen to it this week and give more of my opinions, what tracks I was feeling. Not if y'all even care, hopefully y'all do. So
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you still want to talk about Nicki Minaj's feature on Boot Up? I mean, I would be real quick at that one. It was whack. That's really
Go
about
for
it. It was corny. Nicki needs to just take a step. Nicki needs to take a step back and like soul search. And that girl that sang the song, Ella, is it her name Ella May or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Ella Mai. She has to be definitely heard because she should ask T-Pain for the remix, because T-Pain's remix was fire.
I haven't heard
Fire.
it. I haven't heard none of the remixes except
Bruh.
for Plies.
Fire. Like flames,
Okay.
dog. Flames.
Okay.
Go listen. It's called a T-Mix, but it should probably be on, maybe DatPiff, or if you go on Twitter and search T-Pain, it should pop up there, or you search Google, it should pop up. It's popping, yo. Like, it's that lit.
Damn. Well, I will definitely
But
check out those remixes. Like I said, I only heard the Plies one, and I did like that one. And Ella May, my whatever, she doing her thing right now. So shout out to her, writing the success
Word.
of Boot Up.
Word. Let her get her money, man. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy the podcast, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. You definitely want to share with your friends, your family, let them know what's going on. We talk about everything from dick, pussy, popping to,
Whoa.
getting your 401k and your IRA Roth. LOL, guys.
Well,
We also talk about
first
music
of
and
all,
stuff and fun stuff.
We did not talk about that.
I'm just talking about in general.
That was a little graphic, guys.
But
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay.
I can't control
I know.
Chima.
You know, it's Sunday, guys. I'm getting ready for some R&R, so I'm excited. But yeah, so guys, again, share the podcast, listen, like, share, comment. You know, it's a Both Sides podcast. You have a great week. Peace.
Bye.